Hello there, friends, and welcome back to more Bravely Default 2. Last time, we avenged Mona and the denizens of Wiswald by killing Foley, who was behind all of the terrible things this town has been plagued by over the past few months. The excess growing of trees with the earth crystal, the evil paintings being able to manipulate people, and the murder of a multitude of adults for red paint of all things. Now, the denizens of this town are slowly starting to rebuild and figuring out how to live their lives with the vast amount of trees here. All of the kids that have lost their parents are going to be living in the Institute, for one, which is a good start, and I think it's time that we do our part to help around as well. I mean, while getting the crystals should be our #1 priority, we shouldn't leave these people, especially Elvis's brethren, to their own devices whenever they just got done with a major tragedy. So, today we're going to be focusing on side quests here in Wiswald, starting with this little boy right here. No one's ever gonna find them. Pedal to the metal. Let's play a game I invented. You have to find the 3 medals I hid around town. Think you can do it? Well, prove it. Find the mysterious medals. We get 7 teleport stones. Kid, we're supposed to be helping out with the repairment of the town, but you know what? If it makes the kid happy, that's something, alright? So we do get the red baseball diamonds showcasing us where all of these medals are, so this isn't too bad. There we go. I will go ahead and note real quick, I will not be doing any B&D today. I keep double guessing, second guessing what I'm going to be doing with B&D, and today I decided that I wanted to cover more side quests, and so I'm going to be pushing B&D even further back. Honestly, at this point, I might just make a full dedicated episode for it, but I haven't decided that yet. Either way, we got our 3 medals. Whoa, you did it! You found all 3 medals! God, that means I lost. I need to find some tougher hiding places for next time. How about inside someone's belly? That'd be pretty tough to find. How about we don't do that? Yeah, let's make some space between that kid and us. Okay, well, that was our first side quest done, not too bad. Next, let's talk to this little girl right here. Won't someone go to the Vale of Sighs for me? Okay, so the road home. I want to show my gratitude to the man who maintains the paths in the Vale of Sighs. My dad's a merchant, and he's never made it home for his last trip if the paths hadn't been pristine. So we get direct sunlight for this. This is the side quest I was talking about, that if you wanted to make the Galahad fight way easier than normal, to go and do this. Again, the reason why I did not actually do this quest before fighting Galahad is because, while I wanted to show off how to make that fight easy, I did not want to make it too easy. I'm going to jump to Savalon real quick, and we're going to be completing the side quest. Again, access to 3 direct sunlights, which are light-based throwable items, is very, very good. Oh, there's a side quest for us there in Savalon. We'll cover Savalon in its entirety in another episode. We're going to be hanging out in Wiswald for a little bit. Though we are going to be completing this quest even if it does take us out of there. You know, help out the locals and whatnot. So, this person that we're looking for isn't too far into the Vale of Sighs. I believe he's near where we first encountered Adam. So, that's not too far of a walk. As a note, in terms of the jobs I have equipped, I do want to try and get to Pictomancer as soon as possible, so hopefully we can get into some combat today and max out a job or 2. What's that? A girl sent me a little present because my keeping the path in good condition helped her daddy get home? Well, this is a pleasant surprise, I must say. I'm certainly not one to turn down a donut. I had a little girl of my own, you know. We were traveling together and, well, there was a landslide and I couldn't let that happen to anyone else, so I decided to quit my job as a merchant and dedicate my life to repairing roads instead. You know, she used to make donuts too, funnily enough. The taste really takes me back. That's sad, but you know what? We admire those who do hard work for little recognition. It's a good job. Anyway, back to Wiswald we go. Okay, I'm back here in Wiswald. Now, something I do want to mention that I got a little wrong. Actually, 2 things. First things first, I was talking about how the destination images for the fast travel is the throne room for each area. This is not the case in Wiswald, as there really isn't like a throne room area. It's not a monarchy. So instead, Wiswald is given the child's restitute center. I don't know, the treetop area where the elders and children are hanging out while they're repairing their homes. I mean, it's where a lot of the officials are hanging out, if it isn't the Institute, and the Institute was kind of locked to us originally when we got to Wiswald, so I'm not surprised they didn't make the Institute the image. It wasn't exactly a very inviting place. Next, I want to correct a misconception I made a few episodes ago that I have no idea how this got into my head, but it's really not that big of a deal, but it kind of messed me up when I realized I was absolutely wrong about this. Earlier, I mentioned that the male characters are showcased to use bows as if they were left-handed, holding the bow in their right hand and using the arrow and string in their left. I said that this is more left-hand leaning and that the girls were using bows as if they were right-handed. This is not the case. I don't know how I got this in my head, that they were acting as if they were right-handed. I just, for some reason, thought they were different. But nope, they're not. Now, this doesn't mean that all the main characters are primarily left-handed. Weapons still default to their character's right hand. But for some reason, I just thought that the guys were left-handed when using bows. Nope, they're all left-handed when they're using bows. I'm assuming it's because of the camera angle in combat. It's kind of more, it's showcasing the character's left side more, and so they want to be leaning most of their character model to the left side of the camera so that you can see more of it. Whoever's waiting for you will only worry if you come home hurt or don't come home at all. Thank you for the direct sunlight there. I'm sure it's a game design thing, but it intrigues me that they decided to make them left-handed for that. Give my left-handed friends a little bit of spotlight, you know? Next, I moved the time of day over to nighttime here in Wiswald so that we can go into the pub and get this side quest. Oh my giddy goodness, this stuff sounds amazing. I need to get a hold of some before they sell out. An exquisite drop. I hear they have a drink over in Halcyonia so out of this world that a single sip will send you soaring off up to heaven. What's that? Sounds like poison? Don't be silly. Fetch a heavenly drink from Halcyonia. We get 21 peak for 2100 peak for that. A little bit of a better reward, I would say. Let's hop over to Halcyonia and grab that. Now this is in the item shop, if I'm not mistaken. There we go. Right here. Hey, buddy. Don't tell me a certain lady sent you for a bottle of the good stuff. I knew she wouldn't be able to resist. I present to you the Rummy Morton Grand Reserve. Listen, she's a great customer, so I'm going to give it to her on the house. I don't have the heart to charge her. Rummy Morton. That does not sound very appetizing if I do say so myself. Then again, I'm not really big on alcohol. Alright, back to Wiswald. Pretty simple quest. And back we are. Had a problem finding the door there for a second there. Eek, you bought it! Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is it, the most divine drop imaginable if the tales are true. A vintage so rare that only a few precious bottles appear every decade. Rumored to be so delicious that... It's no good. I'm just too nervous. My throat's all dry and... Barkeep, bring me a glass of something cheap and refreshing, will you? She's gonna put this in her cellar and wait 50 years before finally drinking it. Like most wine people usually do. Either way, that's another quest down. Yeah, pretty simple one so far, don't you think? Next, we're gonna go inside the Great Tree Hollow, which is what I was having trouble talking about earlier. I couldn't remember the name of it. It's the Great Tree Hollow. This is what the fast travel image is on. We're gonna go talk to Nana over here. Jings, how am I supposed to find the time to gather this little lot? A helping hand. Ugh, it's exhausting looking after all these little bands. And they're always asking after things. You couldn't round up some bits and bobs for me, could you? Collect some 4-leaf clovers. We get 3 medium JP orbs for this. This will actually take us exploring around Wiswald, so we might get into some combat here. Also, if you're curious, yes, you can go back into the sewers where the institute that leads to the Institute. You just talk to that little kid again. I don't really see a reason for you to go back in there unless you need to grind or you missed a treasure chest, but yeah, there's really not much for you there. These 4-leaf clovers are taking us back over to Wiswald Woods, so we gotta head that way. I gotta say, Wiswald it simultaneously feels way bigger and also way smaller than both Halcyonia and Savalon. I'm guessing it's just because of all the trees that make it feel much more vast than it actually is, when in reality, it's the square footage it actually covers isn't really all that much. Either way, the 4-leaf clovers are pretty simple to get. You just grab them here. There's one right there. This is the start of many, many side quests that take us back here to Wiswald Woods. It is something that it is a place you come back to very frequently. Which is another small peeve of mine why I'm not a big fan of this area. Because it's very misleading, and then you come back here a lot. It definitely did not help out. That spearhead on Gloria there, I doubt I'll be getting a job mastery today, but, you know, one can hope. The next 4-leaf clover is right over here. This is kind of at the start of the first major junction of the dungeon, where you can see this big rock right here. On to the next one. Past the bridge, and if you keep holding right, you will reach the next 4-leaf clover at this dead end right here. There is our 3 4-leaf clovers. Let's head back to Wiswald. The guy up there on the branch, I was just walking by, and he just looks like he's giving a speech to all the leaves. Like, join me, and you will never get fertilized. That sounds so wrong, never mind. Anyway, hey there, Nana. That's the stuff, lovely work. Next, I'll need you to find me 3 wizard's trinkets. They're all the rage with the kiddies these days. I think they're some kind of spinning top they make at the Institute. They're fidget spinners? Yes. Get the kids fidget spinners to keep them occupied. And look around here and steal the fidget spinners from the Institute they were working on. Hey, lady, can I take this? Thank you. You will be needing that. The next one, I believe, is actually higher up, meaning that we need to travel through the dungeon to get to it. Thankfully, there are telepads, and the game actively showcases that, hey, take the pads. Don't worry about the enemies here. Take the darn pads. I'm proud of that. That is the one good thing about that dungeon. There we go. Wizard's trinkets. There we go. That's 2 down, and then there should be 1 in Roddy's secret office. We go down here. I wonder what the basement part of Roddy's office was really made for. I still think I've always thought that the back part of it right there, behind the weird wad of paint, I'm assuming this is, I always thought those were like spider egg sacs. And I mean, there is this like weird child fetus thing here in this container. I'm assuming this was Roddy's weird attempt to try and make Mona again. But yeah, it's really weird and kind of a dark sight. Either way, let's go and give these fidget spinners to kids. Yeah, on a much brighter note. Hello there again, Grandma. Ugh, the wee ones are over the moon thanks to you. They've used the clovers to decorate those cards they were always playing with, and turned the wizard's trinkets into spinny wee brooches. You know what? That's a pretty good use of fidget spinners, and also, can you keep your forehead out of my face, please? Sort of never cease to amaze me. They're just so endlessly inventive. Bless them. Thank you for the medium experience orbs that I'm probably not going to use. Experience isn't really that important in this game. And next on the agenda is Elvis here in the Institute. He seems to be pondering up something. Let's see what he's thinking about.
What's with all the sighing, Elvis?
Oh, I was just reminiscing about when I first came across the old book here is all. I found it when I was going through Lady Emma's things after she... I couldn't read a word of it at first. But then I happened to plonk it down near an asterisk she had lying around on her desk, and suddenly I could make sense of some of it. I just hope she managed to figure that much out at least. No way I've ever known now, I suppose. Wait, what am I talking about? Of course there is. She was always jotting down wee notes about every little thing and shoving them in books. I bet there's something useful somewhere on those shelves.
I guess we'd better take a look then, huh?
If it can help us figure out more about this book, I'm down for it. I'd love to learn how much Lady Emma really knew about the book. Let's search the Institute and see if she left any notes about it. Alright, let's do that. Over here.
In addition to working on my research, I'm also teaching the basics of magic to a couple of young hopefuls. I'm trying to be patient, and I appreciate that everyone develops at their own pace. But I must say, one of them in particular has been a disaster so far. On the first day, he set his hair on fire. On the second day, he set his clothes on fire. Heaven knows what'll be going up in smoke next. And as if that wasn't bad enough, when he came in on the third day, he tried to laugh it all off and told me not to sweat the details, whatever that's supposed to mean. Still, I suppose blind optimism is a virtue of sorts.
Elvis? Is she talking about...
Let's not sweat the details, eh?
Uh-huh. Okay. I think we know exactly who that was talking about. Anyways, let's move on before Elvis decides he doesn't want us around anymore.
I found a strange old book, and I'm struggling to make any sense of it. It seems to be written in a language I've never seen before. I'd almost given up on being able to decipher any of it, but then suddenly, some of it started making sense. Seems it was reacting to my asterisk, but I've not managed to work out much beyond that yet. It's driving me potty. There must be some way of reading the rest, though, and I'll not stop until I found it. Something tells me it's important, that he'd want me to.
So Lady Emma had noticed the connection between the book and the asterisks, eh?
Do you know who she was talking about at the end? The he she mentioned?
No idea, sorry. Someone from our past, maybe? She wasn't exactly one for sharing.
The language that is in this book that we're trying to decipher is actually something that we can decipher. I've already talked about it before. The strange names and letterings that make up characters, make up the characters' names, like I've talked about. In the top left there, you can see the language that Elvis is trying to decipher with the asterisks. It's something that us, the players, can actually get ahead of the characters with, since we can know the alphabet ahead of time. There isn't any major revelations that you can come up with the book's like little teachings and writings in the sides there, but it's neat to look at and decipher by yourself. It adds a little bit more to the world and lets you immerse yourself in it more than you previously could. This one right up here.
My apprentice continues to be just about the sloppiest magician I've ever had the misfortune to teach. But oddly, he's also the one I've the most faith will come good in the end. His progress has been painfully slow, but he's determined not to give up. He's got grit, I'll give him that. And curiosity too. These two qualities alone will take him far. But most of all, he's compassionate, I suppose you'd say. He just seems to know when people need help. He's even snapped me out of one or two of my black moods. Aye, you're not all bad, Elvis.
Lady Emma.
It's no good. I can't make head nor tail of it. What if there's nothing to understand? What if it's just meaningless gibberish? I have to test my theory. I have to get my hands on another asterisk.
Lady Emma, I brought the package you asked for.
Thanks, Elvis. You can leave it over there.
Still getting nowhere, eh? Oh, you've been frowning at whatever that is for days now. Maybe you should take a wee break or something. A spot of fresh air can work wonders, you know. Not that that face you're making isn't charming, of course, but you wouldn't want to get stuck looking that way, eh? Is it something I can help with, maybe?
You're very kind, but I doubt it.
Fair enough. Will you at least let me make you a nice cup of tea, then?
Aye, that'd be lovely. Thank you.
Alrighty then. I'll be with you in a jiffy. You'll crack it sooner or later, Lady Emma. I know you will.
Yeah. Ugh, Elvis. What would I do without you, eh?
Well, well. And there I was, thinking I never gave her much of any use.
I guess that's how it is with students and teachers, right?
Aye, I suppose it is.
It's nice to get some characterization on Lady Emma, especially since she's passed away and we don't get to talk to her ourselves. The connection between her and Elvis is very nice. Oh, and we've got our party chat. Allow a girl her mystery. Oh dear. So, Lady Emma fought alongside Sir Sloane once upon a time. Aye, 50 years back to be precise. Sir Sloane did mention that they were around the same age. Ha! Then he told you more than she ever told us. We had literally no idea how old she was. That was impossible to tell. What do you mean? Well, some days she looked 30-ish, other days 20-ish. Some days she'd even look younger than me. I don't know why my accent really dropped right there. I think I'll put that on hold for a bit. How is that possible? Was she using magic or something? Could be. Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, if she was around Sir Sloane's age, that would have made her at least. What does it even matter how old she was? If she managed to keep her youthful good looks somehow, then more power to her. I suppose you're right. Some mysteries are better left unsolved, eh? My accent's slipping. I've recorded, this is the 5th video I've done in one sitting. Yeah, I'm feeling it. NN, or is that the, what face would that be? It's not the crying face. That's like the buzzed face or something. I don't know. I couldn't see what their Seth was either, which is unfortunate. Yeah, this is like my 5th video in a row doing in one session. My voice is parched. Either way, that quest is done. But I don't think we're done hanging out with Elvis just yet, as he has another unique quest for us here.
Smell that.
Smell what?
You're joking, right? Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, I've not come across that sweet, sweet aroma for a good old while. Excuse me, pal. You've got some Mandarin tea in, aye?
You've a keen nose on you, eh? A connoisseur, are we?
Well, I wouldn't say that, but I know my Mandarin tea at least. Used to drink buckets of the stuff.
That would explain it then. Aye, it's a flavour that's hard to forget, that's for sure. I'd offer you some, but we've just this minute sold out, I'm afraid.
What? Ah, you're kidding me. Talk about getting a fellow's hopes up. So, what I can smell is my chances of having a cup wafting out of the door. Oh, well, that's just perfect.
Sorry, I really am. Tell you what, if I ever get some more in, I'll set you a bag aside. How about that?
That's nice of you and all, but I'm a travelling man. I'll probably be long gone by then. Ah, typical. It's all I can think of now. But honestly, you've got to try it. There's a reason they call it the tea lover's tea of teas.
Wow. That does sound pretty special.
So special that after I introduced it to my family, they started having it made by special appointment, no less.
Wait, I thought I recognized you. You're a Leslie, eh? No wonder you know your tea. Your lot used to be my best customers.
Well, if that's the case, then maybe you can have a dig around in the stockroom and see what you can find for old time's sake.
Ugh, I'd love to help you, laddie. But I really have run out. And the only way to get more is to hunt down a lairad or two. The problem with that being that you don't see so many of them round our way these days. To be honest, it was a bit of a miracle that I managed to get my hands on that last batch.
Yeah, what a pickle, eh? Well, looks like there's only one thing for it. Ahem.
You're planning on hunting some of these things down yourself?
Of course I am. Who else are we supposed to get our hands on these tea leaves?
Wait, we?
Aye, Or were you planning on making me do it on my own? Look, you'll thank me when you've tried this tea, I promise you. It's going to blow your tiny little mind. Or my name's not Elvis, Baron of Beverages.
Aye, and I'll pay you a pretty penny for any you can't use as well.
You've got yourself a deal, my friend. Alrighty, a-hunting we will go.
My favorite title for Elvis, the Baron of Beverages. Mandarin tea is the tea lover's tea of teas, and I want you all to have a wee cuppa to blow your tiny minds. But to get those precious leaves, we need to hunt down a lerad or two. Those are giant pinkish trees found in the Wiswald fields, so let's go hunting. This will also be the final side quests we do for today, so let's make it a good one. Moving up towards where you can see the icon is not a bad idea. There's usually always one of these funny enemies that spawn. They're these pink trees.
Guess it's my turn.
Now, we haven't fought any of them before, so we want to make sure we're good to go. Let's go ahead and examine it. 1500 HP, weak to fire and axes. Not too bad, I'd say so. Let's go ahead and let's use Aurora here, as this Lop-Ear Batbit is weak to it. I don't think we need to worry about the Veronica being weak to it, but there we go. Yep, 1300 damage with the Ice Brand, very good. 1100 damage even without the weakness bonus, perfect. And then we have this stupid thing to worry about. Weak to fire and axes. Let's just default here. We want to be able to kill it, so let's do Defender to the People. Ooh, Sage of Dread, that kind of sucks. Thankfully, we do have Amp Strike from the Berserker. Let's see if this is enough. This should be enough. No, it's not. Oh, because half damage bows. Oh, there goes half my MP for that. Quick, Seth, switch to something good like an axe. Or actually, the Earthbreaker probably isn't a good idea. Let's go Hawkeye, and then, I don't know, double damage him. There we go. Oh, we captured him too. Seth learned Undead Slayer. And we got ourselves the Mandarin Tea. We need 3 of those, though. Let's put back his bow. I'll just make sure to use Adele to actually kill the stupid trees. Now, you can see that it's pretty difficult to see with all the trees here. Obviously, you can cut them all down. Unfortunately, when it comes to the enemies respawning that we want, there are some other static spawns that they can have. So let's go ahead and see if we can find one of those. There should be one to the south here, if I'm not mistaken. I know that there is a rare monster here that I do not want to interact with. There's the treasure chest here, too. Mittens. I'll see what that is in a little bit. There's the rare monster. We're gonna try and avoid that bugger. I'm not seeing it. Maybe it doesn't spawn in the nighttime? There's no way it doesn't. I know... okay, I mean, I'm assuming probably by the time we come back to this, it'll be respawned. Yeah, it already respawned. Just kind of walking around and leaving the spawn area of certain enemies will just activate them again.
Okay, let's do this.
Let's use Adele here, and let's have her fight the enemy here. I guess I have to use Aurora here. There we go. And then she might just be able to wrap up most of the other guys. There we go.
I'm amazing.
More Mandarin Tea. Thankfully, this doesn't seem to be nearly as frustrating to get as as some of the others. Let's also go ahead and put Vanguard stuff on her. That way she can hit harder. And then I wanted to see if I could find another one of those static spawns, but I'm not seeing it. I want to be very careful not to get too close to that dungeon as that progresses the story, and I don't want to get things confused. There's another rare monster over there, giant spider. Don't want to mess with that guy right now. Very powerful enemy for us. Another treasure chest, 2 of them actually, while we wait for this thing to respawn. Mithril gloves and Mithril shield. Another one of these weird rock formations that we've seen occasionally as we've traveled the land. Can't really do much with that though right now. Let's go ahead and leave this area just quickly so that this thing can respawn. Perfection! This is all for Elvis Baron of Beverages. So I guess I will just do Aurora a few times. That MP Saver's really coming in clutch there. Oh, we got a bugwing and a mandarin tea.
Woo-wee! Look at this great pile of leaves we've gathered.
Nobody's gonna be running short of your favorite tea now, huh?
Aye, and I couldn't have done it without you. I owe you big time for this one, old pal. Now, prepare yourself for a cuppa that'll change your life. Well, let's go and offload the surplus first, eh? Business before pleasure.
Yep, off to Wiswald. And let's see if Elvis, the Baron of Beverages, can keep his word on how good of the tea this is. It's the Tea Drinker's Tea of Teas, or whatever the term was. Funnily enough, I've been drinking tea this entire session as kind of like a throat cleanser, just to make sure I'm not getting a bad sore throat. I've been drinking tea for the past 2 hours, so this side quest really resonates with me, especially right now. It was kind of weird that I decided to do it like this. You can talk to Elvis right here, but actually to complete the quest, you talk to the shopkeep.
Here you go, as promised.
Crikey, I didn't expect you to bring me this much.
Never underestimate the power of a good cup of tea to light a fire under a fellow.
All right, let's get you paid up, shall we? A pleasure doing business with you.
And speaking of pleasure, I reckon it's time we got a cup of this nectar down us, don't you? Hooey! That's the stuff. I could drink a bathful and still come back for more. And yourself? Bet you've never tasted anything like it, eh?
It's good. Has a certain something. I can see how you get to like it so much.
And get to like it I did. Lady Emma and I used to have a cup every afternoon. There was something about it. No matter how many times she'd told me off during the day, she'd always be nice to me at tea time. Aye, she taught me a lot. Made me the man I am today. But the first lesson I ever learned from her was how to brew a proper pot of this stuff. What you're tasting there, that's Lady Emma in a cup. I started brewing it at home and pretty soon the whole family was hooked. That's how come we started ordering it in specially. But learning to make it was no mean feat. There's a lot to it, and I was no more patient back then than I am now. She stuck with me though. Drilled it into me until I got it right at last. Best teacher a man could hope to have. I sometimes think I should have done more to thank her. Not much I can do about it now though.
Hey, Elvis. You ever wish you could go back? Maybe if you could do it all again, you'd listen more. Try harder.
Nah. I'd be just as bad as I was the first time round, I'm sure. Some things run too deep. And besides, that angry face of hers was an absolute peach. I'd never have got to see it if I'd been a goody two-shoes. Anyway, that's enough nostalgia for one day. Sorry to bore you.
Oh, it wasn't boring at all. I'd like to hear more sometime. Maybe over a cup of this delicious tea.
Aye, I'd like that.
The Tea of Teas. Get ourselves 2 booster buns for MP. And another party chat. Sweating the details. So, you're particular about your tea, huh, Elvis? Nope. That's just one of the things I'm particular about. Yep, Mr. Don't Sweat the Details here. He sweats them plenty when it comes to how stuff tastes. As should anybody who enjoys the finer things in life. Only the most sophisticated flavors can truly soothe the soul. Indeed, although such obsessions can be taken to excess, of course. Says you. Wine's a good example. You need to know your vintages, your grapes, your producers. There's all sorts of factors to consider when picking a bottle. Fail to sweat the details there, and you're in for a whole world of trouble. What about your tavern selection? I don't see you sweating many details there. Shows what you know. With taverns, it's all about the atmosphere. It's not just a place to get a drink. It's a place to escape the stresses and strains of the world. Celebrate life in all its messy glory. So you'd best believe I'm sweating plenty of details when I pick one. And it takes an expert to spot a winner. I promise you that. He's totally right. If the atmosphere's wrong, everything's wrong. Aye, and only then do you worry about what you're drinking. You want something that'll get you steadily, but reliably merry. Nothing too fiery. Hey, fiery stuff is what makes you reliably merry. Why not cut straight to the chase? Because, my dear girl, that would be vulgar in the extreme. A gentleman takes these things gradually. Oh, and there I was thinking they were in agreement for once. So they're sweating the details about So they're sweating the details about which details to sweat now. I can't keep up. Well, thankfully, Seth, you don't need to. We're going to be wrapping up things here today. We helped out the citizens of Wiswald and got to know Elvis and Lady Emma just a little bit better, while getting him the tea of teas. So, next time on Bravely Default 2, we're still not done here in Wiswald. So we're going to be helping out a little bit more. This time, things might get a teeny bit more dangerous, but hopefully everything will work out. So, with that said, I'll see you soon.